Well, hello. What is up there, my dudes? It is I, your boy, H-Boy, the boy whose name starts with an H, and I'm going to be today reading you some AskReddit articles. Just prior to me starting filming this video, I digged for a little while, and I looked looking for one. I found this one. What BS is still being taught to children? That's the one I'm going to read to you. Let's go. Okay. We caca, or is it keka? Is it keka or caca? Well, there's no E, so it's probably we caca. Says, ignore bullies and they'll leave you alone. When you do that, one of the two things that are likely to happen is either they'll mess with you more or they'll move to somebody else. If you stand up to bullies, they back down. If you're in life, you put these people in their place, the less likely they'll develop their bad behavior as a lifelong practice. Which is true. That's totally true, because the thing is, if they do ignore you, of course they might not be bothering you, but they might move to someone else. And unless you're incredibly selfish, you wouldn't want them to bother anybody, so that makes total sense. And then Gymicus, or Gymicus, I'm sorry. If I pronounce any of these wrong, I'm truly sorry. It says, not to mention, most bullies are experts in winding people up, and they get their pleasure from the tiniest hint of stress. Flickering an eye can be quite enough. They still know how to deal with someone who gives as good as they get, though. And then Luke is Delot. Sounds like it's going to be good. Dude, I remember in junior high there was a kid named Tom who has a cool freaking dude, but he was poor white trash who was jacked and he had a redneck rage. Anyway, one day we got this kid named Chris who came to our school. He was taller and also jacked and just mean. Big dick alpha energy, of course, starts with picking on Tom, which was a mistake. I will never forget the sickening crunch of Tom punching Chris in the eye. Okay, that sounds painful. The blood all over the floor and how swollen his eye was. And the fury that was in Tom's eyes as he defended himself. I swear to fuck that broke something that the bully that day, because you had to reconstructive eye surgery that was never the same. Oh god, that sounds really horrible. I remember one time I once got knocked down in the 10th grade, but that's not important. I'll say that for another video. And I'll come back to this later. Let's move on to the next answer. That wasn't a fun. None of the solar system laws are even remotely to scale. Now that's true. Once I saw this site called If the Moon Were a Pixel. In fact, let me show it to you right now. If the Moon Were a Pixel. Here we go. By Josh Worth, where it actually shows you the difference. For example, see how it says here 1 pixel, 1 scale diameter of the moon. There's the sun. Then see how down below it says how many kilometers. And that was about 10 million kilometers. And then if you keep going, it's pretty empty. So like, he's right about it not being to scale. Because, like, let me Google solar system model. As you can see, most of these, they're incredibly close. You see that? However, if it was true, it would probably be way farther out here. Like, let me show you. I'm just going to move back just to show you. Like, I'm here, and then the next one would be like way down here, like that. Well, maybe even farther, but physically this room's only so big, so I can't really demonstrate that to you, unfortunately. Anyway, you get the idea, and then just keep going, and then as you can see, here it says Mercury here, which is, if you read very closely, 55,771,931.3 kilometers from the sun. So that's pretty true. Well, the hydroplanets people declared it not to be a planet anymore, yada, yada, yada. So that makes perfect sense. Let's see what this guy says. Kids are starting to use social media so early these days. I think that's very dangerous because it puts a lot of pressure on the kid to attribute their worth to their social media success. I also think parents are way too open on social media with their kids, and it's a total violation of the child's privacy. Well, my parents never had any social media. Like, we didn't create any family channels or any of that shit. But we did, however, I did create my first YouTube channel when I was, in fact, I created this YouTube channel when I was in the 7th or 8th grade, I think. And now I'm a high school senior, so I'm still going pretty strong. Anyway, that makes total sense. Let's keep reading. This I get. Wait a second. Oh, for a second I thought it was the same user, but then I realized they had the same snoop. But enough about the stupid snooze. In fact, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to continue this thread. I'm going to keep going with this thread for a little while. And this guy says, my mom posted a video of one of my legal documents with my address, signature, and everything, as wow, so grown up. This post is public and still up as she refuses to take it down. But wouldn't that be kind of risky? Because I'm assuming they live together. If they did, they would probably, that means she would be putting hers at risk as well as putting theirs at risk. So if you think about it, that's not very smart. Not very smart. Let's just read a few more replies. Okay. I don't like posting pictures of my baby on social media and get a lot of flack for it from my mother-in-law. Okay, understandable. Like my aunt posts lots of pictures of my cousin, but luckily it's nothing too iffy. It's just typical stuff like costumes, maybe having fun. There was one time where she posted a pic of my cousin in her undies, which wasn't too bad, but kind of iffy. I'm gonna give you that. It was kind of iffy. But there was one that nearly everyone in the family, even my father, thought was concerning. It was a picture of the cousin's father's nephew, which would be my. Actually, I don't know what that would be, but that's not important. There was a video where the little girl was on a bike, doodly doo, and then the cousin, which would be her cousin, cousin by marriage, I guess, I don't know what that would be, tried jumping her, and at one point the guy nearly fell over. And what's even worse is the guy was in college, so I think he's a little cuckoo. We're gonna leave it with you that. He's cuckoo. Anyway, back to this. We will probably find out in a decade what people's first-hand opinions really are on their parents posting them on social media. I wonder if it really actually caused the opposites. Kids grow up learning how utterly meaningless social media is. While older adults, we grow up thinking the more friends you have, the more it says about you. They are obsessed with the numbers. And then this one, the adults know what they're doing. This comment was, let's see what the reply was. In fact, let me try, I'm going to go here. And I'm going to open this. And it says, so whether the top comments are also on the side, post 2 hours, something how farming. I'm going to just see if there's any. Let's go to parents. Someone is comma farming. Let's see if they were comma farming. Okay, I'm going to click on, I'm going to go to Reddit, and I'm going to go to removed it and see if it was archived. Probably wasn't, but it's always worth a check. Anyway, while that loads, I'll come back to that later. I'm going to keep scrolling. Yeah. The crack in the knuckles will destroy their hands. I know that's not true. It can't even. It's harder than it looks. Like it annoys you, Jessica. Stop saying it's hard. So it's probably one of those things where, if the parents lie or somebody makes a myth just to stop their kids from doing it. For example, here's a common one. When they say throw rice, sometimes they say simply blow bubbles instead because they're worried the rice will cause bloating in the birds. But I also heard that it's also to not cause slippiness. So that one's somewhat justified, but still, I don't do those that often. What's this? The tongue map. What's a tongue map? I don't even know. Oh, is the tongue map that thing where you can check it around? Like you only can taste sweetness on your tip? I don't think that's true. Unless you're married, there's no way to prevent getting an STI. But even if because marriage is just two people going together. It's not like, does marriage do anything to your body? It does not. So that's just clearly not true. Anyway, let's move to the next one. Guidance counselors don't care about your feelings. They're actually qualified to be a therapist for you. Okay, that's true. Like my grade 7 and 8 guidance counselors were just doofuses. However, grade 9 was, he was better. I'm just going to give you that, better. I'm not going to say anything for privacy's sake, but I'm just going to say better. This abstinence-only sex education. You've gotten better with not saying sex bad, not do it, than a lot of sex education. In South, okay, that's just stupid. Anyway, let's keep scrolling. Prior to college university levels, there's far too much emphasis on simply believing what the teacher says and not nearly enough on such an independent research. Students are expected to trust what they're being told. That's actually kind of true. That is actually what it says. Self-defense will not be tolerated. Bullying will not be tolerated because we don't care if you're getting bullied. Okay, that's interesting. You need a 4-year degree to be successful in life. I think this is changing. I people are starting to recognize there are other options. I don't care about that. So let's scroll. I want one that they teach younger kids because that's the kind of thing I'm more interested in. So what does this one say? A lot of history, at least how they can teach it. Most of the time it's on this date this happened. Instead of going straight to how many people. I know who invented the phonograph in 1897, but what impact did it have on society at the time? Okay, yeah. This is starting to get boring. Okay, I'm not going to hurt you. Tell me the truth. Now that one's important with parents. Stop teaching. You'll not get in trouble if you would tell me the truth if you punish them. It's probably like some kind of reverse psychology. Your whole future. You can return to education later and succeed if you're motivated enough. Don't allow yourself down financially. It's starting to get boring. That's enough for today. Anyway, that was AskReddit. What BS is still being taught to kids today? Thanks for watching, and this is my first attempt at trying to make one of those AskReddit videos, like Toad films and all those. If I should do more, that's great, but I probably won't. So anyway, that is it. See you later, bye, and I hope you're excited for my next upload, which will probably be tomorrow, because I'm really cracking down on uploads.